Well, hello there, friends. This is Jennifer Henry with the Game Changer Real Estate Podcast coming at you again with another fantastic interview because I know y'all love to hear from all the amazing agents and people out there in the industry doing cool things. And today's guest is someone that I have been trying to get on my schedule, but she's so busy out doing deals that it's been hard to get on the schedule. So I want to introduce our guest today. Her name is Edwina Burch. Hi, Edwina.
Hello, Jen. How are you?
I'm so great. I'm so happy to have you here. I'm just going to tell our audience real quick how we know each other and our kind of our little history together. And then I'm going to turn it over to you to do an intro. Sound good?
Sure.
Okay. Edwina is a real estate agent here in Jacksonville, Florida, who was referred to me by a really special friend of ours who said, you need to meet with Jen for coaching. Edwina really wanted to take her business to the next level. So she and I spent about 90 days or 4 months together coaching her through her business. And she was a delight to coach. So much so that I got to learn about her and I got to see really what she's about. And it's just infectious. The energy that she has and the way that she does her business is so special. And, you know, the really surprising part about this beautiful woman is that she hasn't been in the business that long. Like when you talk to her, you'd think she'd been in it her whole life. But when you hear her story, you realize really how she's brought herself to this point in a relatively short amount of time. And it's just been really inspiring to me to watch her and her energy and just her can-do attitude and the kind of like nothing's impossible kind of mindset. And I think you guys are really going to enjoy that. So Edwina, welcome to our podcast. And will you please tell our listeners a little bit about you, your history in real estate, and what got you here today?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Jen. It's always a treat to be in your presence.
I love it.
I sold my first home in January of 2020. And I got into real estate because I worked at a school, and there was a teacher who was a realtor, and I heard her talking about a deal and that it was hard for her. And I'm listening, and we all watch HGTV
Yeah.
and House Hunters. And I'm like, if I can help people like she helps people. And I already had a crazy obsession with people. So I was like, let me get into real estate and let me see who I can help. Let me see if I can make a difference. I also was crazy enough to think that once I got into real estate, I'll get into real estate to control my own schedule, make my own hours. It didn't happen.
I love it. Gosh, she's going to keep it real here. I love it.
Yes. So do not get into real estate to control your hours. They're not controlled.
That's so good.
At least for me, it is not controlled. But I sold my first home in January of 2020. And since then, I've kind of been just trailblazing and handing keys to buyers. And it's just become a part of my life.
I love it. 2020, y'all, during COVID. Okay. So at the time of this recording, you're ending your third year.
Yes.
Okay. And let's just rip off the Band-Aid. Your end of your third year, what will you likely, and I realize the year hasn't closed yet, so if you're being conservative, don't be too conservative, but where will you be ending your third year in terms of volume sold?
13 million.
13 million, my friends. Okay, that's amazing. I'm going to tell y'all a little secret about this beauty. She came to me with some goals, and I won't say what they are. But she told me what her goals were this year, and I looked at her and I was like, no.
Yep.
And the more I got to know her, the more I realized she was really undercutting her goals. But what's really cool is all I had to do was show her on paper what she already had in the pipeline and what the gap was to get to the next level. And it's like it turned on in her brain and nothing stopped her. And then she just went. And so in every sense of the word, you are an ideal coaching client because you literally are coachable. You do the things, you are open-minded to what's possible. And that is such a game changer. Just saying. So no pun. 13 million, by the way, guys. So have you ever done 13 million before, Edwina?
No, My goal was 10 million.
Okay, see, I wasn't going to say it, but okay.
I know, but listen, Jen looked at me like I was an octopus with
Yeah,
six heads.
seriously.
And I will have to say that it was your coaching, your techniques, the way you broke down my business that elevated me. If I could do anything differently, it probably would have been to meet you last year. But
Well,
we
you
have
had
20 million.
you know you are a $20 million producer. It is coming for you. In fact, again, I'd love to follow up with you next year to see if 13 million is really where it lands, because it probably is going to land beyond that. And I think you're just being really, really conservative. But here's the thing about coaching. A coach can be really awesome. If the client isn't, it goes nowhere. And so what's beautiful about the role that I get to have in your life is I get to speak to what's already in you. I didn't put anything in you. All I did was speak to it, and you accepted it and you stepped up to the challenge. It was already in you. And that's the really cool part. And so Edwina has a lot of special characteristics. She has a lot of really big personality and amazing things that make her great. And she just believes in what other people see in her. And that's such an important concept, such an important part of the growth process. So thank you for that. And I do believe that next year you're going to blow 13 million out of the water. Just saying. So I really want to circle back on your story and talk about you. When you got into real estate, you had another job. You had a 9 to 5, right?
Yes.
Okay. At what point did you decide that that wasn't working for you, and how did all of that come about?
Um, so initially, when I started, I assumed that, real estate would be part-time and I could show homes on lunch breaks or after hours. And when real estate took over and it was getting in the way of my 9 to 5, getting in the way,
Uh-huh.
I realized then that I could do this. And it was very, very scary because I have my cushion salary and I was used to getting it every month like clockwork. And the leap was hard at first. But when I made my salary in 1 month, I was like, screw this job.
I love it. Okay.
But I tried to quit and my principal didn't let me. He was, go ahead. Sorry.
I just need our audience that doesn't have the video to know that when she said she was going to quit, she threw her arm back, like she just threw it away. It was awesome. That visual is so great. So if you are only listening, you can go on to YouTube and see this in person. It's amazing what she just did. I love it. I told you she had a big personality, big expressions. I love it. So your principal didn't let you quit. What did you do with that?
So I went to him and I told him that I was going to pursue real estate. At this point, everybody in the school knew I was a realtor. The moms knew, the kids knew, the teachers knew, their spouses knew, because I walked around and painted it. I wanted everyone to know that I could help them with all of their real estate needs. And so I was very vocal about expressing that. And so I went to inform him that I was putting in a notice because real estate was taking over and I cannot adequately do my job. Now, what I did at my prior job, I wasn't a teacher, but I was an FTE administrator and an enrollment coordinator. So my job was to not only make sure the school was at full enrollment, but report those numbers to the state so that the school would in turn get paid for the students that were in the seats at the school. And so I told him, so it's not an easy job just to be like, hey, I'm out of here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he was very lenient and it was such a blessing. And he said, Mrs. Burch, I can work with you in real estate. We can figure it out, become flexible. You can work from home. And I said, okay. Well, then it happened again. And again, I'm like, okay, I can't do this. I cannot give it my all. And I became so passionate about real estate that I was at work looking up houses, like for buyers and pulling comps, for sellers. And finally we trained someone and he lets me quit.
He allowed you to. Wow. I love
Yes.
it. And so how many months into your career were you at this point when you finally got allowed to quit?
This was July of 2021.
Okay.
Yeah.
You've been at it a year and a half part-time, more or less. A year.
Mm-hmm.
So July of 21, we are now in October of 23. It's a year and a half later. So I'm
Yes.
just going to ask the burning question. Any regrets about,
No.
no?
Sorry.
I'm sorry, she literally can't contain her laughter. She's so shocked that I even asked.
No, there are no regrets.
No regrets.
No.
That leap of faith, tell me what that felt like.
I think God was telling me the entire time that that was my calling. It brought me like so much joy and I felt it. And it's really, really hard to be, in my opinion, to be successful at real estate, to with a demanding job as my 9 to 5 to do it. It's hard. It's very, very hard in my opinion. But I talked to God and I said, God, you know what? If it is meant, I need you to show me. And sometimes, God will tell us things, but I'm like, God, you gotta, I didn't hear that. You gotta show me. And God, he kept showing me. And it was peace. And it was almost as if God was like, I got you. You can do this. I'm showing you. You'll be fine. And I did it. I did it. And when I quit my full-time job, I went all in with real estate. So instead of coming to the school at 7:30 in the morning, I'm waking up at 7:30 in the morning. I'm looking at market updates. I'm looking at absorption rate, neighborhood statistics, trying to still understand real estate being so new and understand my market and make myself better to cater to my buyers and sellers.
So you were getting up at the same time and going to work as you would have if you had a 9 to 5.
Yes.
So you treated it like a job.
Correct.
So it's not like you quit your other job and you got to go sit on the beach and suddenly you just were a millionaire.
Oh, heck no.
Yeah, you have to work, right? Like, in fact, I don't know the answer to this. Would you say that on a time, as far as hours spent, are you spending less, the same, or more hours in a 9 to 5 in your real estate career in a day?
I'm more.
Definitely more. Okay.
Yes.
So then how is that worth it to you? What's the difference for you? If there's more time in, what's the payoff for that for you? What is that? How has that changed?
It's changed because obviously financially,
Yep.
and I'm helping more people. I'm changing more lives. When I'm sitting at the closing table and I'm handing those first time home buyers their keys, that's that mom or that couple that thought they couldn't do it, and I found a solution for them to do it. That is the most rewarding moment of ever, ever. But I didn't get there by just quitting my job and telling everybody I'm a realtor, and then it happens. I had to work my butt off to get where I am today.
What would you say when you say working your butt off? You already alluded to the fact that you had to study the market and make yourself an expert. What other things have you had to do on a regular basis to pull this off?
Kind of with my sphere, social media is a big part of my business, and so my business is heavily run off referrals. So leaning heavily on my sphere, my social media, consistently updating them, consistently making them aware that you can trust me to get you to the next, process of purchasing a home, because this is a huge process. And there are tons of realtors, as we know, in our market, but what is going to make them want to work with you? So it's building my brand. It's, spending time building my brand and building my rapport with my audience and my sphere and my family. And I think that was, yeah.
And social media has been a big part of that. So do you want to go ahead and let our audience know how they can go stalk you and see
Yes.
you? Can you tell us how to find you out there?
Like, comment, subscribe. I'm just kidding. I don't have YouTube, not yet, but go to Edwina Burch _ is my Instagram, and Edwina Burch is my Facebook. Please follow me on there. I mean, and outside, listen, when you go to those pages, you will not see all real estate. Okay. You will see me having fun and you can come along with me and have fun. So just follow me. Just follow me because I'm cool.
And Burch is Burch.
Yes.
There's a couple different ways to spell that. Yes. And you're always going to have a good time in her presence, and you're always going to be inspired to what's possible. And that's I know I'm your coach, and that's how you inspire me. And that's beautiful.
Oh.
So Edwina, a year and a half in, decides to quit her job, finally gets permission to quit her job and starts going in full time, more hours than before. So all that flexibility that you thought you were probably going to get, not so much.
That's right.
And so now you're a year and a half in, your business has exploded this year. What would you say is the thing that you've learned this year about yourself that has gotten you where you are? What have you done differently this year? What is new developed in your business?
Whew, there's so much. But if I could point out I want to say this. The biggest thing you can do with your business is get a business coach, because I think that we can only go so far. The mentor has a mentor and they have a mentor. And so I think my business almost doubled this year because I had a business coach that coached me to setting up my systems correctly and accurately, working on my back end to where it can seamlessly run by itself and it's not necessarily taking my presence in there. And so I think the hub of my business would be my CRM, which my business coach made me set up. And I did because she told me to do it.
Yeah,
and
girl.
It's really been, as soon as I did that, business really started even coming even more. So the biggest thing that I did with my business this year was set up my back end systems and get my CRM in order.
Yeah, because 13 million on your own without systems starts getting really exhausting.
Yeah.
And if you want to go, when you go to 20 million, you're going to need all those things to take you to the next level. It's almost like you have to multiply yourself, right?
Right.
Yeah, and there is no other you. So what you have to do, and you and I talked about this. So this is a little tutorial for our audience that Edwina just did. You got to take the best parts of you that have made you successful and multiply those. And you're the only one that can multiply that. But now that you're multiplying that, you have to be able to subtract some of the things that you don't do very well and get someone else to do them, or at least set up some systems. And that's what you did. It was amazing. And again, ideal client, I told her to do it. She did it. She just did it. And she came back and reported in, and we did baby steps to the point where you finally had all your people in one place. And there was clearly a lot of talent here, y'all. Okay. Lots of talent, lots of personality. But what I can say is there was a moment with you, Edwina, where clarity gave you power. Yeah. You just saw the numbers for what they were, and you saw your people in a system, and you suddenly saw the systems and the clarity that they provided you. I saw it happen in you. It clicked in your brain. And it was like, I'm more than a $10 million producer. And I'm going to shoot for the stars. I'm going to shoot past the moon for the stars. And that was gained through just you having that clarity too. So 2024 is upon us. I know we've already established 20 million is the next goal.
Yes.
But outside of that, what will you be doing differently in your business in 2024? What do you have on the horizon?
I'm loving on my people.
Yeah.
I plan on expanding my support team and loving on my people some more. And I'm going to keep kicking ass. Oh, wait. Can I say ass?
It's okay. It's okay. Edwina can get away with it. I love it.
Don't tell anybody.
You got that covered, girl. And I cannot wait to see it. In fact, let's just plan on coming back here next year. Okay. So everyone can get an update on where you landed. And I know that you've got a lot of amazing things coming. For all the new agents that are out there right now, Edwina, people that are looking at you and going, wow, I wish that could be me. What's one piece of advice that you would give them that just inspires them to either take the leap and do this, or really take the leap and bet on themselves and maybe quit their job so they can really give this the full-time effort it deserves? You got anything for them?
Yes. Be persistent and consistent. We all started with one follower. We all started with one client, and we built from there. love on the people that you do have, and treat every transaction that you do with love and care, because people will see that and they will grow off of that. And in turn, you're seen as a big part of that when you don't treat it as a mere commission check or just trying to get to the closing table. And when you take the care of a transaction, it'll speak more volumes of what you are and what you want to convey to that customer. But also pray about, if you work a 9 to 5, I would say just pray about it, and seek clarity, and God will show you. He will definitely show you, but continue to be persistent and consistent if you are not. And if you are, it'll pay off. It'll pay off.
Yeah. So well said. Edwina, would there ever have been a time when you could have been at your 9 to 5 and you could have naturally phased into a real estate career without taking a leap of faith?
No. It's going to take that leap of faith. It give it your all. And and you know what, Jen, once you feel like you're taking that leap of faith, you're going to give it your all, because that's all you got. You're betting on yourself, you
That's
know?
right. That's right.
So
Yes,
yeah.
that's it. That's the key right there. She just said it. When you make yourself have no other options, you have no other options but to succeed. So we call that burning the boats. We call that go into the scary island and burning your boat and saying, I'm here for the long haul and I'm not getting back in that boat and I'm not going back. So it's getting rid of the backup plans. It's taking it all, going all in on yourself for the first time, maybe ever in your life, saying, I'm going to prove to myself what's possible, and then just do that. That's what Edwina did. That's what you did.
I did.
Yeah. And that no other option place is scary as all get out, but it is essential to this transition. So for those listening, talent aside, beauty aside, character and personality aside, no one escapes the leap of faith. Nobody.
Yep.
So take it strategically. Okay. Don't just be irresponsible and jump off a cliff without some kind of net. Okay. Align yourself with people, get a coach, align yourself with people, make a plan for how to do it. In fact, you can rewind into these episodes. I don't even know, 6 or 8 months ago, I did a whole series on how to fire your boss and become a full-time agent. I walked through the steps in the episode. So get on back there and listen to those. Follow Edwina and get inspired by what she's doing and amazing people like her. And you too can take that leap of faith with the right strategies in place and the right support. Edwina, you are a true inspiration.
Thank you.
I love knowing you. I love having you in my world. I love being able to text you and knowing that, you know, you'll text me back, and having you in my atmosphere. Edwina is going to be coming and speaking to our agents here at Game Changer Realty. We love to bring in energetic talent that wants to share their gifts with the world. And she's going to be coming in next month to speak on a panel here at Game Changer Realty. And then sometime next year, early next year, I'm bringing her in to do her own talk with my agents about social media. So really excited about that. Yes. So Edwina, thank you for coming in today. We really appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you as well.
So guys, there it is. You get to hear from the one and the only, and truly there is only one like her, Edwina Burch. We love bringing you guys inspiration and motivation. And this particular series that we're talking about is all about going all in 24 with your real estate. And so hopefully if you're listening to this, and if you're not yet a licensed real estate agent, you're thinking about it, but you have a job, just understand the process that this transition would look like for you. And hit us up if you want to know how to create your own transition plan. We can help you with that. And then if you are an existing agent and you have a job right now and you really feel like you're getting left out, you're on the sidelines, stuck at that 9 to 5, again, reach out. Let's create a transition plan for you. You can find me at jennifer@gamechangerrealty.com is my email. You can find Game Changer Realty on Instagram and Facebook. And you can find, basically, look us up, gamechangerrealty.com. All right. So listen, we love supporting our audience, those of you that are inspired by a career in real estate. We're always here to support and inspire you more. And remember, we're here every single Tuesday with a new episode. So we hope to catch you at the next one. Take care, everyone.